Once in a great while, an episode of a show comes along that is so mundane, so uneventful, so boring, and so vanilla that I can't even stretch it into a monumental level of stupidity to make fun of. And that was the case with this episode, Loose Tooth of Batwoman, Season 3, Episode 2. I don't know if I'm strong enough to do this. We're going to give it a try because this episode was painful. I mean, most of these episodes hurt, but this was just boring. I mean, like, nothing really even happened. I mean, there was stuff to make fun of, but not on its normal level of stupidity. It's like this one was completely phoned in on every facet this time around. Without further ado, you know what time it is. Fucking roll the fucking footage. So this episode seriously starts out with our cannon fodder in the form of two expendable white kids in a pool, which is inexplicably unlocked and closed down in the middle of the night. Knowing the CW's about to massacre Killer Croc with low-budget CGI or bad practical effects and shit writing, this should be horrible. Predictably bad soundtrack, generic pop beat. Our girl throws her guy in, and by the time she surfaces from her initial dive, pale male stale boyfriend Derek is gone, which is kind of odd because they're in a fucking enclosed pool. She makes an Aquaman joke. And we see her man flailing around like Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls, all epileptic Marlin style. And she tries to flee the pool, but is pulled back in and presumably eaten by Killer Croc. Oh, fuck me. Da-na-na.
I was a little frustrated. Batwoman, that's just a car. Somebody's watching this show. That like really annoyed me. Batwoman is still doing quite well. It doesn't even look like Batwoman.
Peter, I'm really starting to question why I'm even friends with you in the first place.
We join the show with Alice getting released from Arkham with the narration from Kmart Renee Montoya. And Alice jokes about her tether wrecking her ensemble. Haha, I love Rachel Scarston though, seriously. She's one of the best parts of this, if not the best part of this show.
Does this kind of wreck my ensemble?
Ryan enters and Renee tells her if Alice violates the terms of her conditional freedom, she is responsible and her cape crusading days will be over. Mind you, there's two prison guards in the room while she's fucking saying this, and it's not like they can't hear what Renee is telling Ryan, so I guess we don't fucking care about keeping Batwoman's identity a secret anymore. I mean, all things being equal, Batwoman's got that wagon, so she's easy to spot if you've ever seen Ryan and Jean. Damn! But seriously, Renee Montoya tells Alice and Ryan that they have to work together to find all the toxic toysies from Batman's lair because one of them's already racking up a body count. We're at the scene of the crime, and our exposition dump mentions Killer Croc. Oh, yeah, that's the female reporter, by the way. We just call her exposition dump from Channel 2 News. Mentions Killer Croc by name and says it could be a copycat. Because why the fuck wouldn't it be a copycat, just like the Mad Hatter last episode? Luke tells Ryan and Mary that this isn't the original Croc. Well, no shit, cuckwing. But a single tooth has spawned a new version of the reptilian villain. And in a piece of writing that only the CW Batwoman writer's room could pull off for Mary Hamilton, she says of the Croc's tooth.
Yeah, so that tooth, pretty much all that was left of him.
Now it's loose.
Alice then asked the question we've all been wondering. What's up with the tree growing in the middle of the Batcave?
Why is there a tree in here?
Ryan tells Luke and Mary that they better put their nerd brains together and fast track a way to fix Luke's cuckwing suit. And in walks Sophie. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means.
The lesbian!
Sophie mentions the fact that secretion is mentioned many times in the report she has on the new Killer Croc and how he subdues his victims. His saliva is paralytic to his prey. Ryan then says that if they're dealing with something crazy, might as well ask a crazy woman, aka Alice, and get the crazy lady's opinion. Mary immediately chastises her and scoldingly says, We don't use the... Oh, well, let's just let Mary tell it.
We don't really use C word anymore.
Implying that crazy is a derogatory pejorative used against people who suffer mental illness.
Shut the fuck up!
This bitch graduates from medical school, dissects her professor. Now she's telling us that crazy is a no-no word after running a back alley abortion clinic.
And fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
We hear and see a helicopter swooping in close outside of Wayne Enterprises, and it's Jada Jet, the CEO of Jeturian Industries, not to be confused with Jet Magazine. Get it? Because she's black. And she wants to meet the CEO of Wayne Enterprises. And this is where we get Ryan fucking Wilder as the temporary assistant relief CEO of Wayne Enterprises.
3 times, Barb, and they won't listen to me. They don't even believe in the trailer park supervisor, all right?
We get Bitchman Batfaker Wilder playing pretend as CEO instead of Luke, who obviously is better suited because of his credentials and history with the company, or maybe even Mary because she's actually related by marriage. Well, everybody's dead now, but as well as the length of employment that Luke has been at Wayne would better serve him to do this. But we can't have a man in a position of authority over any of the womans, especially the lesbicans on the show. No man can be in charge of these lesbicans, not even a black man.
You've got to do better.
So Mary runs along to help Ryan find some suitable looking clothing to wear to the meeting with her real mom, aka Mike Tyson's former punching bag, Robin Givens. Sophie tells Ryan that Jada is her birth mother, and Ryan has an extremely dumb look on her face, which is par for the course with that character. Then they dress Ryan in an outfit that she should probably wear on a Tinder date.
Sweet, fancy, Moses.
Then utters the line,
And I want to get her damn helicopter off of my roof.
last time I checked, it's called Wayne Enterprises, not Wilder's Emporium of Lesbian Artifacts. So bitch ma'am should probably stay in her fucking lane with that my roof shit. Bitch, you live in Kate Kane's apartment with Mary over top of Kate's bar.
This is Lesbos!
And have basically assumed Kate's life. But please go on about what's yours.
You are one pathetic loser.
Ryan asks Sophie what would Bruce Wayne know about her. And Sophie says,
Probably her bra size.
But that's not the case here.
I had to come on camera for this one. Are you guys ready? Gather around. Because this is a Sophie gem for this episode, okay? I don't know if you know this, but Ryan is black. Okay? Are you ready? Ready for Sophie?
Say the line!
Sophie.
I'm a confident, put-together young black woman.
In walks Jada Jet, and she disses Bruce because they have to tear him down at every opportunity. Jada's there to address the data breach that stemmed from Sophie investigating Jada's background, and Jada's warning Ryan and Wayne Enterprises to stay out of her business, and exits to take a left hook to the jaw. She left to get back in her helicopter. I don't want to really talk about much of this scene because I just don't fucking care. It was useless garbage and just more bullshit. That's pretty much what this whole episode was, to be honest with you.
Yada, yada, yada.
Luke is showing Mary the AI on the suit that was Lucius Fox, and Luke laments that the suit is shutting down when he's apparently injured, which I'm sure is a ridiculously stupid plot contrivance that'll come into play later on in this fucking idiotic episode. So Mary does what she does best at her back alley abortion clinic. She decides to play doctor with Luke. Wait, I thought she was a lesbian.
Everybody betrayed me.
Alice is playing on the computer and trying to search how to remove her tether, and Ryan enters, and Alice tries to get into her head by talking about Jada, and then tells her she knows where the imitation killer Croc is going to strike next, and of course Rachel Scarston chews the scenery and outacts Javicia. Alice tells Ryan that the Croc's hunting ground is in a park by the lake. Well, wouldn't that just stand to fucking reason if Ryan wasn't such an idiot who...
And living in a van down by the river.
This might have been a solvable crime for her based on common sense.
That's
Generic young white girl loses her soccer ball in the woods. I think she muttered something about Megan Rapinoe. I stopped paying attention. And upon going to retrieve it, finds it's been bitten by something. Of course it's Killer Croc. And then she gets fucking pulled into the woods because white people are completely expendable in Gotham City. As Alice and Ryan are searching the woods around the area of the disappearance, Alice starts talking to Ryan about Jada, who all of a sudden fucking is having memories of Jada as a mother, Ryan is, which is odd considering last week Bitch Ma'am didn't even know who the fuck her real mom was. Much like the showrunner, Caroline the twat Dries are all fucking half-wit retards with as much creative ability as a cage full of primates throwing shit at a wall. So this is what they serve up. And Ryan says she don't need no Jada in her life. And they find a manhole cover inexplicably in the middle of the woods, and they decide to descend into an argument, and Alice actually has a moment where she's empathetic about finding the missing girl because she refuses to give up on the little girl like everyone gave up on her. Upon entering the sewer, they see a huge hanging piece of meat, which looks like butchered cows hanging in a slaughterhouse, which raises the question, how the fuck did those get in there?
What a story, Mark.
Alice and Ryan make a remark about imitation Killer Croc being a monster, and out from behind the slabs of meat steps a generic white dude who says,
well, gosh, he's not a monster, he's my son.
And this is the most generic looking, like unfinished character in a video game looking white guy I've seen on this show since last week. So you know he's just going to be cannon fodder at some point, right? You realize that, right?
Fuck that puto!
Speaking of fucking putos, Mary's having Luke stripped down so she can give him a physical, and she, of course, has to act like the obligatory gibbering idiot female because he undoes his shirt and he has abs. Wow, okay, cool.
So...
They have a moment where she's checking his heart rate, and it races when she touches him. And it's obvious they're teasing like some kind of connection between these two, but it's kind of funny because I thought Mary was
the lesbian!
And Luke was
gay!
So they can't do that. They can't have a straight couple and wait, maybe Caroline Dries is turning over a new leaf. She is being ultra progressive here. A heterosexual couple in Gotham where 99% of the women are lesbos! And equally 99% of the men in Gotham can be called Sam! Papa Croc is filling Alice and Ryan in on what happened to Steven, a.k.a. New Croc, a.k.a. generic CW Killer Croc. And Steven found the tooth inside of a fish, made a necklace, cut himself, and slowly transformed into Killer Croc. Then he uses a cattle prod to take down Blackwoman and holds Alice at gunpoint and says he isn't going to let them hurt his son. Honestly, it was hilariously bad CGI when he shocked Batfaker. I think my effects package on Fillmore 11 can come up with better CG than what was used here.
It's for you.
Sophie is back at the Batcave monitoring Batwoman's vitals and radios her while Daddy-O is still giving Ryan shock therapy, and enter Killer Croc, who KOs his dad and just fucking drags him away because
fuck me, right?
Alice picks up the cattle prod and shocks the tether until it breaks off because that's how that works. She wouldn't get electrocuted at all and just walks the fuck away like the beautiful scene-stealing psychopathic murdering goddess she is. Back at the Batcave, Cuck Fox, Abortion Clinic Mary, and Sad Sack Sophie are scurrying around trying to find out where Batwoman is, and Ryan tells them that Alice escaped and asks Cuckwing if he's ready to get back into the field, and Mary lies and says the Cuck suit is fine. It's all fine. We're all fine. Remember our missing girl in the sewer that Killer Croc took, the little soccer girl that mentioned Megan Rapahoe or Slapahoe or whatever her name is? Well, Alice finds her and she's like, hey,
no one is gonna save you.
And fucking cuts.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Ryan's still trying to beat Crocodile Dundee in the sewers and...
G'day, mate.
She finds dear old dead dad. Renee Montoya is informed that Alice has escaped, and we see her popping out of a manhole cover at a truck yard, and Cuckwing shows up and they fight, and hilariously Alice keeps pace with him despite his armored suit, and then he injects her with nanobites and says, this'll track ya.
Oh, what the fuck ever?
Back in the sewer, Stevie Croc is getting ready to dine on Little Kid, and Bitch Ma'am tries to go hand to hand with him until she nets him against a wall and he's magically stopped. Because the plot needed it to be extremely easy because they've only got like a couple minutes left in this episode, and they couldn't afford the effects budget to have Croc on screen for very long. Montoya tells Ryan they have Alice ready to go back to Arkham, and they are transporting her in. Ryan says that they've got something better for maintaining surveillance on her moving forward, and she won't be a problem because the nanobites they injected into her. Get it?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Sophie and Ryan are on lesbian balcony outside of Wayne Enterprises where Kate used to make out with all her fellow lesbians, and we have feelings on the balcony instead of an action-packed conclusion that you would expect from a superhero show, but not this fucking piece of shit. Fuck you, Caroline Dries. Sophie tells Ryan if she wants answers, she'll have to go directly to Jada and ask, who Ryan didn't want to fucking talk to, but now she does. And then Ryan fucking cries and says, what if she doesn't want me as her daughter? Well, it's pretty fucking obvious because she got rid of you to the tune of $2 million, you stupid cow. And what would an action-packed conclusion to a Batwoman episode be without Mary and Luke talking about feelings in the Batcave, and Luke is told that his injuries aren't physical, but psychologically. Yes, we're going to victimize Cuck Fox now and say that he has PTSD stemming from the shooting he suffered at the hands of their evil white agent Agent Tavarov. Generic Bane, for those of you keeping score at home. Because we need a white person to blame for the black character's trauma. Next thing you know, Luke will be suing Tavarov for reparations or some dumb shit like that. I can just see it now. Tavarov, you owe me money for reparations.
Why would I owe you money for reparations, cuck?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
A female officer brings in a canister with some foliage in it to Montoya, and she's told that the botanist in the lab wasn't sure if it was poison ivy's or not, and the only way to be sure is to open it, because the botanist wouldn't. The man whose literal job is to test and, knows all about plants won't open it, because he's a bitch. So seeing as how the cowardly man wasn't up to the task of opening the vine and testing it, leave it to the fearless 110-pound woman to do it. So Montoya opens the pressure lock container and pours in water, and it's clearly a fake.
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
And to end the episode, Ryan barges into Jada's office past her weak white beta male assistant. Ryan tells Jada that I'm not here on business.
Because I'm your daughter.
And Maury said,
the lie detective determined that was a lie.
Peter, I'm really starting to question why I'm even friends with you in the first place.
This was just one of those episodes that was so boring, it was difficult for me to put it all down and try to make it entertaining. But I'm an entertaining fella, and I can take shit and make it into sugar, and that's what I did here, because this episode was just straight trash. It was bad. A reveal that Ryan's mom is Jada Jeturian, and now she's a billionaire, blah, blah, not Ryan or her mom. And it's like, who fucking cares? Like, she was so downtrodden, and her mom fucking sold her for $2 million. Like, what the fuck? Like, she paid a doctor $2 million, like, make this baby go away. And we're supposed to feel sorry for this bitch. She's rich, bitch. Like, what the fuck? This episode was stupid. They massacred Killer Croc. He looked like ass. He was on screen for less than maybe a minute total this whole episode. They did nothing. It was all feelings and bullshit and just garbage tier. Fuck this episode. The ratings are still shit. They're up like 3%. I'm not even going to bother showing them because it was like 478,000 people. That's it. We're still sub 500,000 with this shit show. That's it, guys. We're done until next time with Batwoman. I need time to mentally recover from Halloween Kills and Batwoman in 1 week. That's why it took me so long to get this out. So, guys, if you're so inclined, please subscribe to the channel. We're growing. We're trying to provide you more entertainment. We're working on more shirts for the Teespring store. We got a lot more coming out for you to enjoy and buy if you want. If not, that's cool too. I'm fine with it. On the way out, be sure smack that like button for me. Ding the bell for notifications. And always take care of yourselves. I'm Temple Queen of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of you. So if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow. I'll catch you on the next one. And remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away. Oh, God. Fuck this show. Could it get any worse? Like, I don't even know what the hell, like, Ryan's mom was a Force ghost, and now she's not a Force ghost anymore, and she's Mike Tyson's punching bag. Where's all the white girls who live in a sewer with a broken leg representation? Oh, we got it this episode.